Hi, I'm Norma McCarthy, and you're watching Word from the Couch, where we discuss all things mental health. If you're looking for a YouTube channel that explains mental health in everyday language and gives you some coping skills on how to implement some things into your life to make your life easier, I am glad you're here and you've come to the right place. And today we are talking about the ADHD brain. We're going to understand what goes in there, what makes it work, what doesn't make it work, and how to work with it rather than against it. So first things first, ADHD is highly genetic, meaning if you have it, there's a high chance that somebody in your immediate family has it too. So you mix genetics with our environment, and that's what gives us the odds of having ADHD or not. So most of us, if we have ADHD, have grown up with hearing lots of negative messages. And with time, those negative messages tend to be internalized into beliefs and things that we say to ourselves and about ourselves. So I really want to spend a moment on this because it's super important to change this dialogue. A lot of the negative messages, such as, you're really smart, why don't you apply yourself? Why can't you be on time? Why do you wait till the last minute? Why don't you just try harder? Why are you so disorganized? All of those things typically are coming from somebody who is neurotypical. All neurotypical means is that the majority of the world thinks linear, and the majority of the world thinks a certain way or a certain style, if you will. Those of us with ADHD see the world differently. We approach problem solving differently, and we don't stay in the box, and we certainly don't think linearly. Okay, it has nothing to do with IQ, it has nothing to do with smartness whatsoever. It has to do with the way we receive information, how our brain processes it, and how we spit it out, so to speak. So if I could ask one thing of you, that is throw out the stinking thinking that every neurotypical person has probably put into your brain, because what works for them, great, but it doesn't work for you. And what works for us will look like craziness to them. But the goal that I have for you is that you take the information in this video and maybe understand a little more about your brain so that you can work with it rather than against it. So let's talk about ADHD chemistry. Okay, there's this big thing called dopamine. It's part of the neurotransmitter system, and it has to do with how your brain communicates. Different parts of your brain communicate with other parts of your brain, okay? So with an ADHD brain, the dopamine is our motivational fuel, and it controls focus, reward, pleasure, and motivation. So it's highly inconsistent or very low in a ADHD brain, which is why deadlines, novelties, bright and shiny things appeal to us, and routine tasks tend to not get done, or we do them kind of grudgingly because they just don't provide, well, we don't get the reward for doing them, so they don't provide any sort of stimulation for us to do them. The second thing that's different with an ADHD brain, see, you can tell I have it right, is norepinephrine. And that is the attention spotlight, if you will. So norepinephrine helps with alertness, focus, prioritizing, and responding to stress. In an ADHD brain, it can be less efficient, or it can be inconsistent again, which is why we have trouble sustaining attention, and we have trouble staying organized sometimes. So the result is tasks feel scattered, steps get forgotten, and finishing things is a challenge. The third factor affected is our serotonin. It's the emotional stabilizer, if you will. So differences here can make emotions feel really intense, which is why we tend to be very expressive. And it's why sometimes we're not aware of how loud we're talking, and we emphasize certain things, and we have a hard time letting go or processing difficult emotions. All serotonin. Okay, and the fourth area is executive functioning, which is the organizational part of our brain. It's our brain's manager, if you will. So it has to do with the planning, task initiation, tracking time, and prioritizing things. In an ADHD brain, this part is slower or again, it's inconsistent, which leads into why things feel overwhelming and sometimes we have a problem judging time accurately. So, another thing that is in with the executive functioning is starting multiple things at once, but not finishing any of them, or getting hyper focused on something, but not being able to focus on something else, not being able to put our brain where we want it to go. All of that is executive functioning. So, a quick metaphor to kind of wrap all that up and help us understand it is dopamine is the fuel, it powers our motivation. Norepinephrine is kind of like the spotlight. It directs our attention. Serotonin works like a shock absorber in that it smooths out our emotions. And then the executive function is like our manager. It keeps everything organized. Bottom line, ADHD isn't about effort and it's not about character. It's about how your brain communicates. So learning your brain chemistry helps you work with it and not against it. So, in part 2, I'm going to discuss more information on how to work with your brain and not against it, more specifics on there. So if this video has been helpful to you, if it's resonated with you, please hit the like or the follow button and let me know in the comments what specifically resonated with you or what works for you. I would love to hear from you. Thanks for watching and take care. Bye.